How would you get revenge on someone at high school or secondary school if you're living in the rest of the world?
Oh,
poor thing.
I mean, that's troubling to me as well, because obviously we grew up in I don't know about you actually, I grew up in a 3-tier system, and it's now become a 2-tier system in Northampton, just in time for everything to fall apart outside of schools, I guess. But
what was the third tier? Tertiary school?
Upper school.
Oh, that wasn't sixth form?
No, had lower school, middle school, upper school, then sixth form.
Well, Jesus.
Yeah,
Northampton really is a law unto its own.
It's a crazy place, and I think it's leading the charge. I'm going to say for free speech and some other bullshit that people don't understand and routinely misdefine.
Well, I'll tell you what, mate. Which of those 3 tiers are you most likely to not get in trouble for if you cast some incredibly attractive teens in the role?
I don't know how it's going to go down in the boys' school that I attended for my upper years, but I think it's going to go down well and full of respect, and all the lads would just fully get behind them. Not literally, but
oh, come on, guys!
Come on,
we're having fun
70s
here.
comedians, stop it!
Come on now. It's inappropriate behaviour.
But
okay, upper school. So how would you get revenge against someone in upper school in a way that is teen-friendly? But not those teens, obviously. Okay,
well, foreshadowing perhaps, Mean Girls 2, don't think about this too much. You've got to really join the rugby team if you want any sort of leverage with the teachers. And then you just put as many people into a bin as you want, literally into a bin, not the figurative sense of down with this person. You just think, I'm going to put him in a bin, literally. And the teachers come out and they go, lads, what do you like? Anyway, I'm off to go and resent myself quietly in my office. And then that's how you win, I think, because...
That's how you win. At that stage, the credits roll, because you won Mean Girls, the Northampton edition.
Northampton Upper edition. It's horrible.
Hello and welcome to One Good Thing, the podcast that has never had to play dumb. I'm Paul Weatherly.
I don't glow often.
And with Mean Girls, the secret musical, coming out this Friday, we decided to have a look at the last time that plastic was suggested to be forever. It's the 2011 TV movie, Mean Girls 2.
You fell head over heels for the first Mean Girls. Now, the Plastics.
Who are the Plastics?
They're teen royalty.
Are back.
It's so embarrassing how much they love me.
Oh, I'm gonna vomit.
It's their world.
Stay down there and don't ever look at me again.
But now it's her turn
Who's she? There's tons of comments. All the guys think she's hot.
to get even.
This is war.
No, the Plastics are goddesses, and Mandy can ruin you.
Hey, Abby!
Okay then.
Mean Girls 2. Own it on DVD February 2011.
Peace out.
Batman Forever. Or Rob.
That plastic was forever. Those little rubber tits that Michael Gove had.
We're sick of experts, says Michael Gove, but not sick of
Michael
plastic nipples.
Can't believe Michael Gove was so helpful to Batman.
He's a billionaire, I suppose.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
It makes a lot of sense, actually.
He was naturally in a support role to Bruce Wayne. Yes, this was announced in 2008 as part of a Paramount project to produce a That's Paramount, the organisation, not a project of great importance.
This has
Which
come
is
down
the opposite.
from the Daily Sport. They've been campaigning for it.
Finally, word from on high. This was a Paramount project to produce a batch of sequels, including Without a Paddle, finally, Road Trip,
Oh my god.
The Bad News Bears,
No, what is that?
Grease, which I guess would have been Grease 3?
I guess so. Grease
Yeah.
2 Redux.
They put the French plantation sequence back in. Thank God. And
That's
the
what
Naked
everybody
Gun.
was feeling was missing. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, some of those happened. Not the scariest one, fortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best one though. Here we are. justifying our existence for another 2 hours.
Thank God, at least. The film was written by writing duo Cliff Ruby and Ilana Lesser, who specialise in children's television, like the new Arthur series, apparently there is one, the Land Before Time series, a bunch of Barbie stuff. This is making sense.
It's all making sense. That we
it's
just watched
all
Bratz
coming together.
Again.
I did also get like fierce Harriet the Spy, but not good vibes from it. So the kids' TV angle, I think is hitting home.
I did think you were going to say Sphere vibes. I say, wow.
Is that just Nell milling around in the background, wondering when we're finally going to do that? Because I'm wondering.
Yeah, I'm wondering, and actually, I'm gonna move the laptop ever so slightly so that Nell's face isn't in the bottom left corner of my screen.
Well, why is this of virtue to me? I feel my experience has suffered greatly now.
She's too. We've long established that she's the best of the three of us, and I can't have that reminder as I'm trying to justify my own existence, as mentioned.
She was helping the poor, folks. I could see.
Oh, me.
Yeah. It was also written by Alison Schroeder, and this is actually her first film credit. She also wrote Hidden Gems, Christopher Robin, and Frozen 2. What the fuck?
Oh.
I mean, Frozen 2, fair enough, but Hidden Figures and Christopher Robin, good films.
Yeah, right. I mean, look, you get writing teams, and it's
true.
You have that sort of one in, one out roster. You know, it's not necessarily one person. Well, we watched Napoleon yesterday, and I checking the IMDb. You know, as you do when you finish a film, and you go, who were the 78 people that I recognised, and almost ruin the movie trying to think about it.
Including Miles Jupp.
Including Miles Jupp. And Julian Reintut, which was another British comedian of yesteryear.
I spotted his name in the opening credits, so spent the whole movie looking forward to seeing him. Yeah,
Napoleon, Josephine, all very good. Yeah, nice one, Vanessa. Good acting. Where's Julian? Where's our good mate Julian? And Miles. But yeah, anyway, looking it up, the thing that really jumped out at me, and it might have been because I was checking the IMDb for Mean Girls 2 earlier, was one person listed as writer. And that felt on IMDb, and it just looked very strange.
It's pleasing sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes that one writer will be your Adam Sandler or your Timothy Herlihy.
Yeah, I'm not extolling the one man writer just inherently.
Look,
it looked very clean.
We can all agree auteur theory is bunk, but mature theory, my theory of MILFs. Ooh. That's a whole new frontier. You'll hear about it in the Patreon. But before we do that...
Fantastic.
Melanie Marion directs this, not Napoleon. Marion has directed TV shows mainly, and has worked on a lot of them. She's directed episodes of 30-something, Moon Over Miami, Nash Bridges, Dawson's Creek, 90210, and then about 2 decades of stuff I've never heard of, and then 5 episodes of Julia, the TV show your mum's watching. People at home. And also you.
Explains why my mum keeps calling me Julia and saying, I wish you were more like Julia.
She also directed back in the day The Babysitter's Club, which was a big deal in this house when I was a boy.
With your babysitter. She insisted on it. Bit of a busman's holiday, I'd have thought, but...
This is going to teach me everything I need to know. I've lost my leg. Okay, let me fast forward. It'll be in here somewhere.
None of this makes sense to me. I'm just along for the ride.
This was the last movie produced by Paramount Famous Productions, a made-for-home entertainment division of Paramount Pictures, before its closure. Its unrelated closure, they want to assure us.
Paramount Famous is like the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Or
Paramount Good.
Yeah.
They just saw Mean Girls come off the belt, the conveyor belt, and we're just like, nope, close it down, boys! And they threw the big Paramount Famous switch.
The orphans won't be getting Bratz 2 for Christmas.
The critics really went into drama, especially girl drama. The MTV News staff, writing for The Guardian, actually, say,
okay.
Unlike Regina George, we'll tell it to you straight. That was one of the ugliest effing sequels we've ever seen.
Right.
Well, they'll give it to you straight, the MTV News staff. They speak as a collective.
Yeah, they've lost any sense of self or individualism, so it does get easier.
What a fitting metaphor for the diminishing quality of what was once a rebellious form of media. Maybe it still is. I don't know. I don't interact with it.
I don't
Maybe
care
it never
to
was.
check.
Also,
Yeah.
I'm in essayistic mode. Question everything. Who says? Who
Don't
says
do
that? No one. Public, meanwhile, had no idea how scary movies can be. Belkis Perez on Google said, watched this movie before the original because I didn't have a way of watching Mean Girls. At first, I saw this movie as decent. It matched my Disney mind since up to that point I have only watched Disney movies. Then, after I watched the original movie, I immediately realized how awful this movie is. Compared to the original, it literally looks like a dollar store version of an amazing movie. And that is a short poem that I like to call Hope.
That was wonderful. There were two distinct halves to that review, wasn't there? And at first I was marveling over both. You know, firstly, the incredible niche work of this moviegoer, and an ability to just shut out all of the distractions, but then that willingness to change and admit that Mean Girls is better than Mean Girls 2.
Look, if all you're watching these days is Disney movies, and that could easily be done, unfortunately, just go check out Mean Girls, and it'll point you to a whole new direction of le cinéma. This time next year, you're watching Sans Soleil.
It's not Disney. I know what you're going to say. Can't all be Pocahontas.
That's the terrible truth that you have to acknowledge at some point on your cinematic journey.
I'm not saying it's easy.
No one is. No one could. Tim Meadows is a 3-man, though, because of Grown Ups 2 and Jack and Jill. That guy.
Okay. I don't know who he is. I'm going to bring up a picture of him.
That's the principal.
Oh, I feel like I should.
The principal in the movie, in Mean Girls 2. You know, the guy who keeps appearing on the TV.
Yeah, the guy I felt sorry for who was in Mean Girls as well.
Yes, correct. He, if you imagine him with slick back hair saying, "What?" is in Grown Ups 2.
Oh, of course. Damn, I forgot about that completely. He's very good in Dewey Cox, the Walk Hard story. Or Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story.
What a miracle. That's like saying he was very healthy during the plague.
Do quite like Dewey Cox.
Well, I'll have to take your word for that you do.
But I won't.
I'm not willing to interrogate it any further.
Yeah.
And in Jack and Jill, he was just one of the guys Jack worked with who, like, I think he has a long improvisational bit. No, that's Nick Svardsson. He's the guy who stands next to Nick Svardsson in order to make Nick Svardsson seem reasonable.
Is he? Yeah. Does he work in the Walmart type place where they all go to hang out for a great time?
No. Yes, he does in Grown Ups 2. Yeah,
okay,
yeah, you're pulling me across the realities, mate. I can't even handle it.
This is like
the
my
Sandlerverse
ability.
is collapsing.
This is like Joel Kinnaman and Scoot McNairy all over again, mate.
I refuse to acknowledge that they are a separate thing.
Look at the sweat patches on my t-shirt, mate. That's the price
Look
I
at
pay
those.
for recognising Scoot McNairy.
It's such an intense. He burns 1,000 calories every time he does it.
It's worth it though.
Oh, free to a man, free in the bush, free, yo. Films are shit, mate.
Mean Girls 2 has 4.1 on IMDb, 30% on Rotten Tomatoes, and a record-breaking low of 50% on Google.
What have they done to deserve that from Google?
They finally broke the everlasting optimism of Google, those monsters.
The last bastion of positivity and contentedness in this universe.
So long as you don't have like something stupid in your movie like subtitles or anything. Then they'll give out to you. But literally everything else, 5 stars. Except this.
For shame. Brats, or whatever you are.
Yeah. So, Paul, you Hope Plotkin.
Oh, yes, I did.
Uh-oh. What's one thing about Mean Girls 2 that made your female hormones kick into overdrive?
Oh, God, well, Paul, other than the very radical, righteous dialogue.
Whoa.
Uh-oh. And so on. Scratching your boot itch with a ruler, mate.
Oh, yeah, that's a pretty tight look.
It's a good look, and there's not enough movies utilising that heavy imagery of scratching a moon boot rash with a ruler. We'd all do it.
I love it.
I do it, and I don't even
thinking-
have a moon boot. I never have. Never will.
I'm thinking about maths because of the ruler. I'm thinking about sweaty feet, about skin issues. I'm in the zone, mate. I'm up for whatever's going down.
This is my real house, guys.
So, let's get into Mean Girls 2, and it is ever so important to set the tone straight away.
There are times in your life when you find yourself in very awkward situations. And this would be one of those moments. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me start at the beginning.
And
This is my dad.
Revs the motor
Don't
of a stock
stand
car,
out.
hoping.
Never raise your hand in class. And watch your back at all times. Dad built engines for race cars. New town, same school, and so did I. Same parking. And then there's the most dangerous vehicle on the road. A high-performance, high-maintenance, because of his work, like the muscle cars who think they own the road and cheer for every passenger. If they like you, your life makes me a fall running like anyone with pride. If they didn't, okay, I'm nothing more than a rat. Everything was about a sled to death. It was my first day at my number one rule for semester. No Carnegie Mellon University. My dream school. No drama. They were called the class.
We scale back to the dad being a mechanic, I believe, and we meet
For NASCAR.
NASCAR.
Johnny
yes, that's
Cage,
right,
by the way.
because- Remember, you've seen the first one more recently than me.
Yes.
So in the first one, the reason that she's new in school is because she was the family of explorers in Africa, or like they lived in South Africa.
The
Right.
explorers and it was anthropologists or something like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
but now Dad's a mechanic, which
Dad's
means
a
they have to
NASCAR
change school
mechanic.
twice a year.
Twice a year. Well, it's because he's with NASCAR, you see, and NASCAR they move around, I suppose. America, how do you work?
They move terribly quickly, mate.
I've seen NASCAR in my head and
They're
zooming
shooting about
around,
all
mate.
over the place.
Yeah.
I'm amazed they can keep up with them.
I
but-
do just want to point out that the dad played Johnny Cage in the original Mortal Kombat.
Well, I'm very fond of that, mate. I didn't realise, and it makes a lot of sense.
It's changed
That
everything.
was not enough time is between Mortal Kombat and Mean Girls 2 for me to feel good.
Didn't say it so you could feel good, mate.
I said it so you could feel. Well, success. Well, look, I don't remember there being this much narration in the original movie, but maybe that's because it was funny. That does tend to pass the time on a bit.
Yeah, it's hard to. This is how they get you, right? The lefty elite, when they're writing their movies and they say don't put a voiceover in because it's cheap and it's trite, but then they do one and they make it good and funny.
That is an issue.
It's so disingenuous of them, and I hate it. Not like this one. What does the character think? Half you.
What does she think about literally anything? What do I think? Oh, it's telling me too. Oh, good. So we meet. She goes to school. She's new in school. She meets the plastics. This version. She's incidentally Lindsay Nohan, because we can recycle jokes. Why, if they do.
Yeah, fuck it.
Why shouldn't
We're
we?
improvising this largely.
I have notes, but I haven't looked at them since I wrote them, and most of them are half finished. So I do name the others, but I can't remember what.
Well,
can we riff on?
workshop some? Yeah.
Oh, I was going to look up a lesser royal for Regina King. Regina. Oh, what's the regent? Regina Prince Regent.
Regina King.
What's Denethor in
John Noble.
Stewart?
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a steward.
Yes, Steward of Gondor, right?
Yes, Regina John Noble is
Okay. Yep.
is the leader of the plastics, and then we've got a Lacey Chabert. Lacey, no, not Lacey Chabert. Lacey.
Lacey.
Nascent Chabert.
Lacey Hypochondriac.
Sure.
Okay, I want to move on to
that is indeed her role.
Amanda Seyfried.
Oh yeah, that's good.
That's good. And we'll just edit
We'll
in something
workshop
fucking amazing about Lacey
Lacey
Chabert.
We'll get there, mate. Don't you worry about it. We're all over that.
We're definitely gonna.
But yeah, those are your plastics, and they're really mean. They're mean girls.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Nobody wants that.
Yeah, we also run into the principal, the only returning actor from the first film, which is not a good look.
It's not a good look.
Don't be the only one.
Yeah, he must have been riding high off that Dewey Cox dollar.
Come on, mate.
Come on, mate.
Get your Dewey money out. Stop demeaning yourself. Adam Sandler will be here shortly for you to do that. This is like the same year as Grown Ups 2. Oh, God, I'm depressed.
He's a regular Harvey Keitel. Job's a job.
But she shows up, and she wants to go to shop class? A woman?
What? This is ridiculous.
This is implausible to me now. I don't know what kind of fantasy world this is.
2011 is a terrifying place, because it's pretty much the same as now. But the shop class, the shop teacher, Mr. Giamatti, which is very good, says something sexist, and then quick as a flash, main character is Lindsay Nohan is just like, well, that's a sexist thing to say, like anyone would, you know, when they're in a position like that, and she's just quipping like it's like, oh, she's amazing, mate.
She is pretty damn good, but I'll tell you who else is pretty damn good. And that's this awesome guy she meets. He looks like, I think, Jacob Elordi, so it'll be Jacob O'Lordi.
Oh, Lordy.
Oh, Lordy Lummy Lou.
As long as you say it like that.
That's a Jacob. Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
At this stage, my mum, who's watching this with me, my sister, says that she can't hear what any of them are saying because they speak too high and too quick. I ask her if she would like subtitles. She declines.
I'm not watching a fancy film, Paul.
No, just I think I get the gist. Pure cinema, mate. Don't need to know what they're saying.
Well, exactly. That's why Google didn't like it. But he says, you can do all the artsy girly stuff, and she's like, no way, dickhead. I'm gonna do the blokey stuff. NASCAR, motherfucker.
NASCAR, motherfucker, indeed. So, we find out a few things here. First of all, we've got a unpopular rich girl. It's really tough, actually, being the richest girl in school. Nobody wants to hang out with you.
Yeah. It's like, I can sympathize and empathize, because I am as rich, if not more so. And
if not more.
So many people ask to be my friend, and I have to I'd say one is enough.
Yeah. And where one, you mean yourself in the royal sense, because you've been talking like that since you became uber rich.
Pretty much, mate. Speaking of, have you had time to check my email? Would you like to be, doesn't have to be a friend, but...
Are you that Nigerian prince that's been emailing me? From the noughties?
Yes.
Good. In that case, yes. I'll be right there.
Yes.
I'll send my money ahead so that you have it when I get there. So,
thanks, mate.
We also find out that her dad spent the tuition. Oh, God! If only these two things that we've learned could have some sort of coalescence. She needs tuition, and she needs a friend. What's the solution? He does.
Well,
the dad does say, I know you're mad at me, and that's okay. You shouldn't feel bad about being mad at me. And then she punches him in the face.
And she doesn't feel bad anymore.
Regina Noble. Regina John Noble. John Noble doesn't like the rich girl. So she's going to do some things that are pretty creative and ruthless, according to our narrator.
Mandy was creative, ruthless, unrelenting. I'd seen her kind before.
That's right. Pay a guy to push lunch into her face, another guy to take a picture, and then a third guy to post it online.
I'm pretty sure that worked against Ed Miliband.
That's true, and it was pretty creative and ruthless on behalf of the British media.
Yeah, good God bless him. And it does have a similar effect, to be honest.
Yeah.
They're also they get a bunch of kids to paintball her expensive car.
It seems to be one kid. It must have taken ages. Oh God, mate, the number of times the police could have been involved in this is you could only assume Alfred Hitchcock had a hand in it for all the times that they refused to go to the police. So, yeah,
Please,
she gives her a
Alfred.
lift back to her place. And the dad intercedes and says, we want to do a no hard feelings. It's like, no. All right. You want to pay me to be your daughter's girlfriend? Just friend. Oh, okay.
Friend. Oh, okay. I'll do it. I'll
definitely do it.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Ow! Oh, sorry, mate. That was the entire rest of the movie happening in my head immediately after I found out the premise.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I look forward to that playing out as I expect.
Yeah, that was a nasty case of that, mate. I wasn't ready for it, and I should have been. It's on me. That's on me.
It'll happen more and more as you get older.
And it did mostly play out as I expected, but we'll get to that.
Yes. We'll get to that, especially if you've recently seen Bratz, and by recently I mean ever, because it does stick in the head. It does also turn out he's super rich because of infomercials, which you gotta love. I love that detail.
Land of the free.
How can John Noble's dad, who was just a humble drug dealer, hope to keep up? This infomercial king.
I just don't know. I just don't know, and I don't want to know.
No? So she's like, hey, come hang out at my place. Okay, so they go to her bedroom. Hey, what's that? Oh, what, the car door that's in my room? No, there's a picture of an old lady. Oh, that's my mum, dumbass. Fuck else is that going to be?
She's old.
I just like to look.
Yeah.
She's hot, looks like me.
She was. Oh. Anyway, let's... What's that over there?
Oh, hey, there are cameras across the road. Audience? Cameras. Remember those. Across the road from the house.
I don't want to.
You gotta. I've got cameras that'll be inexplicably accessible, even though they're not part of our house. So, the Mean Girls sneakily... The Mean Girls don't like the fact that our hero, Nohan, is going around with the rich kid.
They fucking hate that, mate.
Oh, I fucking hate that. So they glue her to a moped somehow.
Yeah, I do. I hate people who are able to sit so completely still that they don't notice after, I'm going to say, at least 5-minute bike journey. They haven't noticed that their pants are glued to their seat, but...
They also seem to apply that glue the day before. But it was just waiting for the pants. It was pants-seeking glue.
Do you reckon they glued the pants to the moped and she had to, like, slide into them and thought nothing was the issue? Yeah. Well, this is weird and inconvenient.
I can't believe they invented bike pants. What happens when the pants get dirty? New bike. Oh. Is this an Apple initiative? Yeah, it's an Apple initiative. Okay, right.
It's an Apple, yeah. They've Apple. Heavily prohibited access to the source code. What's the equivalent for that in bikes? Shut up. Bike pants.
And our hero has something to say about this particular scheme.
Seriously? Who would ever think of something so childish yet brilliant? Except a bunch of mean girls.
So brilliant, mate. Ingenious. Only a mean girl.
And when the writers come back from their respective wanks, they
only as she's all that. Oh wait.
Or something similar, maybe.
So she's immediately winning, though, and the plastics are really struggling to get any headway at all because basically everyone just likes her a lot.
Yeah, that's it. I think it's important to point out that, she goes to the bathroom. She rides her bike through the school to the bathroom, which everyone thinks is radical, and a few people just go, MTV! Probably. And she borrows one of Abby's, the rich kid who everyone hates, remember, so try not to feel too much of that hostility towards her. She can't help being rich. And she lends... what are we calling the main character? Nohan, that's it. She lends Nohan her art smock, her Jackson Pollock art smock, and everyone just fucking loves that. It's like Nathan Barley. And everyone the following day is wearing a paint-spattered art smock, and they just think, this girl is fucking awesome.
God. Almost all fashion happens as a result of a mean prank. That's why you should go out and prank people, folks. It'll force them to be themselves. So, yes, unfortunately, Nohan is getting pretty close to Jacob. Oh, lordy! Which is causing some tension between her and John Noble, who is busy having it off with Josh Hutcherson.
Uh-oh. Fresh off the presses of detention.
Straight out of his most recent night at Freddy's. We have a bit of a Disney TV montage of things.
Oh yeah. I love that. What the date are you talking about? The Polaroids.
Yes, they go on a date. Yes, that's it. The Polaroids, and she, she gets her tongue right up in his dimple.
There's a lot of popcorn play. One of them keeps trying to get the other one to eat a bit of popcorn, and it makes a return later on in the photo montage. You won't let it drop. But it's going very well, and they're in John Noble's Josh Hutcherson's car for the date. And they're having a good chat about being a gross virgin or something. I don't know. I wasn't listening. I was just too busy being enamored.
How gross it is to be a virgin.
Yeah. Oh God, imagine being 16 and being a virgin. That's
I can't. I'm an American man. So the next day, imagine being 16 and having any of what they have. So the next day,
I can't.
Literally can't. It's unimaginable. They've all got mortgages. The next day, it turned out that she had bugged the car and outs her as a virgin, to the derision of most, except some.
Everyone finds it hilarious, except for the people that really like her and everything she does intrinsically.
Oh my god. She's so relatable. She's like Taylor Swift.
So fortunately, we don't have to worry too much about that. And her popularity hasn't really taken a dent.
No, once again, the bad guy's plan has failed pretty immediately.
Phew.
Abby's really supportive, but I can't help but have the tension because I know, of course, the audience know that she's getting paid for this. How does our main character feel about? Oh, thank God she's here to tell us.
You're the best. I'm sorry I didn't listen.
And Abby was the best, which only made me feel worse. I was totally lying to her. The one person who kept having my back.
Okay, good.
Bad. It turns out.
Oh no, that's a shame. That's
That's a
actually
shame.
unfortunate when you're the main character and you feel bad.
Yeah.
But don't worry too much because Jacob, oh lordy, rushes in just as Abby or the I'm going to say Ben Bradley Jr. Student journalist
Okay.
informs her that Jacob, oh lordy, is fucking John Noble's stepbrother.
The mental effort that took.
There's a lot.
Visible effort.
You can see the sweat patches.
They're growing by the minute, folks.
Yeah, so to reiterate, Jacob, oh lordy, is John Noble's stepbrother, and he borrowed the car. But Jacob,
Yes.
oh lordy, also busts in to start a big, loud, exclamatory fight. So exclamatory that I thought or declamatory as well, that I thought it was going to be a ruse and it was going to be a bit of subterfuge playing out. But no, what it actually
he
was,
just
and
hates
this is-
Josh Hutcherson.
as you know, as do we all. And the I defended him quite staunchly in detention. Some would say foolishly, but he goes and has a big loud fight. Don't worry,
Big loud fart.
everybody knows because of the fart that he wasn't in on it, and he still likes Nohan. So don't worry.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
that over.
And with John Noble's plans in absolute shreds around her, she gives Nohan a very smug smile to let her know, yeah, that's right, I did this. It went bad almost immediately. Yeah, all me.
It was disaster, and I knew you did it anyway.
Everybody knew you did it. Your popularity has never been lower. That's right. I'm John Noble. Bring wood and oil, bitch.
Click.
The subterfuge immediately falls apart.
No.
So she decides to sabotage. What is it? The experiments.
Oh yes, because she's in shop and she's doing man things like science, and
That's right.
And Mandy John Noble decides, well, this is how we get to her, because I noticed the laptop has actually moved back to the left to include Nell's face in the bottom left-hand corner, so I'm just going to scooch that over again.
Just a scooch Nell.
Just a scoocher now. Yeah, so we're going to interfere because she wants to get into college, and she's a good student. We're going to interfere with her GPA, which we all know, and Paul, stands for Great
Point.
Actually.
Alarm. Great point, actually. GPA, mate. So
thanks, mate. Yeah, so they start fucking with experiments.
Well, they decide to just fuck up her life, basically, by ruining her schooling, her dad's business. They sabotage a car he's working on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They put incriminating sexual evidence into her locker. She's going to jail for a long time.
Going to fucking jail, son. Heinous.
Going to jail. Well, she finds out this, and she's like, it's time to get some revenge. Police. It's the time for the police. This woman is dangerously stalking you.
But she looks up at her portrait of Alfred Hitchcock and has a change of heart.
Damn! Why do I carry this around with me?
In my heart and my wallet.
She says it's time to get some payback. And I bet a subtle plan is coming together. So she goes and screams at her at the nearest place that she finds her in.
Mandy had gone too far. Mess with me? Fine. Mess with my family? You're dead. It was as if all my girl hormones had kicked into overdrive, and I was out for blood. The plastics were going down, and I didn't care what rules I had to break to make her pay. What happened? Mandy happened. Is that all you got? Going after my dad, you spoiled narcissistic bitch!
Which, to be fair, surprised me. I wasn't expecting that. And I thought, oh, good on her.
It'd be great
You know
if
what? I'm
some
on your
revenge
side,
thing.
man. Yeah.
It'd be great if Jason Statham was in a thing and it's like, this time, it's personal. And you just cut to wherever the bad guy is and he just drives a car through the wall. That was easy.
End of the movie. Jason, usually I do that. Jason? Oh, he's all right. He'll come back.
He's gone off to fight sharks. So there's going to be a big birthday bash because, of course, there is. Oh, yeah. It's the birthday of the rich girl.
We love
but,
that.
You know, So there's subterfuge going on. Jesus Christ. Oh, that's right. Yes, they've managed to screw her over thanks to their pluck, their realness, and their having a bigger house.
Fuck yeah, mate.
Fuck yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's get
Finally,
it started.
The rich girl wins. And the richer girl wins. Yay, America.
Yay, you're hot
world.
and you're cold. So, yeah. 3 really awkward lines get said in a row.
You both look amazing.
Thanks. You're not so bad yourself.
This party rocks!
Literally one line after the next. After which, the plastics try to mass poison everyone.
Yay, with Ipecac. Hope no one dies, a la Boardwalk Empire. And fortunately, only Josh Hutcherson eats the pizza with the Ipecac on it for reasons.
Oh.
Because they
And
intrinsically knew.
yaks.
Oh, what? Mate, you didn't tell me you were going to make that joke.
I didn't clear it with you first, but I thought I'd go ahead anyway. I saw my shot and I took it.
America.
Yeah.
Keep.
And that's it.
Stop.
She threw up on him. Oh, he threw up on her. Everyone threw up on each other. It was great. It was Triangle of Sadness. The end, right? Oh no, that's right. It's Bratz, so we've still got another half hour. Oh Christ.
We've got a runtime to meet, mate. Yeah, no, it's not. It's not even. It's not even close to even, mate. Because now that's it. There's a I forget now, mate. There's a homecoming dance because there was one in the original Mean Girls, and it doesn't make sense if the sequel doesn't have one. So they have the homecoming queen competition, and surprisingly to all of us, Nohan is the favourite. So they've got to get rid of her. The only way we can do this, says Ben Bradley Jr., journalist extraordinaire, is to get her expelled. So
right. Is this them going against the plastics? Because yes, they go up against each one of them. Reporter advises. Reporter has changed sides.
She's changed sides now because
that's right. This is like Game of Thrones.
It's like Game of Thrones, mate.
It's a dragon. And
it's a dragon.
It's gone on a bit too long. So,
and I liked it,
or
and
not
I
long
didn't.
enough.
Oh,
yeah. So they take out some of the plastics. They slut shame Neighfried. That's my name for it. You called her Say Fraud.
Say Fraud.
That's pretty good.
Say Fraud.
Yeah. Say Freud. They use germ warfare against Lacey Chabert, and use sex against John Noble. I can't remember in what context I wrote that. And nevertheless, they use sex. Oh, that's right. They just make out in front of her a lot, and it pisses her off and aggravates things.
She hates that. Deeply conservative.
At which point, some of her allies start turning against her. Maybe Lindsay Nohan has gone too far.
Oh no, I didn't see that coming at all.
Uh-oh. Yeah, our hero takes a little bit of time to look very unsteady on heels, and then is passively mean to Mandy, the rich girl that she was paid to be bloody nice to. She's forgotten her whole raison d'etre.
Oh, by Mandy, do you mean Abby?
I don't know. There's no way of knowing that.
That's fair, mate.
But what's the French for money? Argent?
L'argent.
L'argent! So raison de l'argent.
Perfect. And she
perfect.
Yeah, she's challenged on her bullshit, and she says nothing. And people, you're just allowed to do that. So Jacob, oh lordy, leaves her alone.
He does. He's not into this anymore because somehow this revenge plot has taken over her whole life. Her dad, Johnny Guitar. What is it? Johnny Cage. That's it. Johnny Cage. Yeah. Johnny Cage shows up and is like, hey, your friend's dad dropped off all this money for you. I have no further questions. Bye.
Can you help me with the car?
Thanks, Dad.
No.
No, absolutely not.
Something's
I'm too
wrong.
busy getting glamorous revenge and trying to kill this woman.
Probably.
Oh
yeah.
no, though. Everybody finds out about the dad payment thing. So everybody yells at each other in a bit with some really awkward blocking. And it seems that all might be lost.
Oh no! And then they frame the plastics. By the way, frame Nohan for stealing the money that was being raised for an animal rescue foundation. That was the whole point of the homecoming thing.
Yeah.
And script, and so she gets expelled because she has no proof that it wasn't her.
If only there were loads of cameras everywhere. If only.
Well, there aren't. So never mind.
Tell you what, though, she says, I'm sick of the mind games. What mind games? Everything's been painfully literal and immediate so far. Nobody's had even a second motive.
A scintilla of internal monologue or process. But never mind all that shit. Shut up, everyone. I'm sick of dealing with this like women. It's time to handle this like men.
Girls, why don't we settle this like ladies?
Screw being ladies and screw being girls. I'm sick of the mind games and the backstabbing and the setups. I know you framed me, Mandy. So we're gonna settle this like men. On the battlefield.
Let's play football.
Actual line and actual then narrative event. And
this was written by a woman and 2 men, so she was outvoted.
Oh, well, okay, that makes sense. Common sense prevailed.
Oh, actually, Ilana sounds like a female name. It was 2-1, but Cliff got a couple of lines in.
Cliff got 2 votes.
Hey, also, women can be misogynist too, guys. Women can be anything. Do.
That's true. I fully support that. This film's amazing, and then they fully follow through with there being a football match. Despite so many instances where I thought they were going to divert from it at the last second, such as there's a lawsuit so that Nohan can't actually be on school grounds. Abby is incredibly rich and used her connections to get a court mandate that because she wasn't actually expelled. What did she? Yeah. No, wait, I've got this. The football field.
Hang on, I'm not sure I care. Not. Oh,
I'm going to say it anyway. Because it's very important, so we all understand exactly what this film's doing. The football field apparently is public property and not property of the school for some reason. So it's perfectly legal for her to be on these grounds.
Dodgy Jeff insisted on it when he sold us the school. Why did he have a school?
Shut up!
I don't like to talk much about Dodgy Jeff.
Dodgy Jeff said so. And so yeah, the football game goes ahead, but oh no, gasp! The evil Mandy, the second richest girl in this story, has not only hired the judo or karate champion of the state, a goth girl that feels no pain, literally and figuratively, and also the girls' football team captain, American football. This is, by the way, not your rubbish soccer team. A big football captain to play, but she's also rich and smarmy. So
fuck yeah! So they all get together and face off against each other, and unfortunately, it's only at this stage that they remember that none of them know how to play football. So 10 minutes of sheer chaos later.
Least of all the director.
They managed to win the game because they leaked the evidence of the 2 of them stealing the money, a very real crime, and so they get arrested by the cop who was at the game.
And as
America.
We support our local teams, and as we all know, that could only have happened once they'd gone through the stages of the lawsuit and then rebuffing the lawsuit and then having the football game to enable the geek to access the security cameras. The football game was intrinsic to that plan.
It was absolutely essential that go ahead. We get a brief warning about online voting. We all know who won the election, people. Don't sleep on this. So I'm pretty sure that they both go to jail forever for the rest of their lives to die there, and our heroes all go to get laid or something. Probably
they fulfill their pact to lose their virginity before the end of high school.
All to Stifler's mom and Stifler. I never saw that movie.
Here's to you, Mrs. Robinson.
To you, Mrs. Stifler. So the movie ends.
Wow.
The movie ends, please. The movie ends. Please. Don't fade up again.
The rich kid wins homecoming queen, Paul. I know you wanted to get this in because she didn't have any friends to begin with.
Oh Christ! I forgot that whole scene.
And also the computer geek who did all the integral. I know we're running over, Paul, but it's got to be. This is all essential.
Integral tech stuff of taking a picture and uploading it online. That fucking whiz kid.
Oh, and did they rig the event? No, it was Nohan, Paul, because she's already got enough. That's not a satisfying final line, guys. Oh, it's over.
The end.
Sometimes it just takes a little girl drama to find out who your friends are. And once you have that, you can survive almost anything. Even high school.
And we all take time to reflect, and my family gets genuinely irritated with me as a result of having suggested we watch a Mean Girls 2. Paul, what did you and your family think of Mean Girls 2?
Paul, mate, I didn't need to have seen the original Mean Girls to tell you why this is a bad movie, but I did, so I will.
And I'm glad you did.
I'm glad I did as well. I didn't realise that it was written by Tina Fey, and that Tina Fey was in it, which is two very big wins for me. And it is exactly what I then expected it to be, which was just really smart and funny. Constantly so.
Very astute, well observed.
Very astute, feeling very natural. A lot of the relationships and performances. Silly. Yeah.
Like really over the top and like big in moments, like in its humour, but always feeling just incredibly natural and sort of congruous.
Yeah, like the relationship between the friends, Janice and Damien, was just amazing. It was so brilliantly natural. I love them, and also some really good stunt work. There are some very satisfying and funny, like comedy impacts that were very violent and aggressive and perfectly timed.
Great performances throughout.
Yeah, great performances throughout. I think this is probably the second Lindsay Lohan movie I've seen after Machete, and I've got to say I prefer this one.
That's a big statement, mate.
I'll make it again, I swear to God. But yeah, just incredibly written, and you can pretty much just take everything I've said there and make it the opposite for Mean Girls 2. Especially when one of the huge wins for the first movie is the script, like Tina Fey's just general brilliance. That is not there for the second movie. What was, as we alluded to earlier, a voiceover that was, highly expositional because it's this sort of account of Lindsay Lohan's character. It also has the artistry and comedy and heart and individualism, needed to make it, valid, a crucial part of the story. Whereas this is just there to very lazily tell you what all of the things that are happening in the movie are supposed to mean and be.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even matter because she says all of her opinions out loud anyway. So
yes,
it's
very
redundant.
Surface level.
Yeah,
it reminded me of Anastasia Steele style dialogue. In fact, the whole thing really reminded me of Jenny Nicholson, like reading Anastasia Steele. Like it just had that feel to it.
Hey, guess what? Tyler just asked me out. It was amazing having a friend to confide in.
Joe, you can't. It'd be a big mistake.
Or not.
Yeah, I can imagine. I haven't heard that, but I can really imagine what that would be like. And yeah, it's kind of, it feels cynical and patronizing. And there are a couple of moments where I feel like, it was trying to divert a little bit and tell the same story with a few differences, but they're ultimately quite perfunctory. Just instead of this girl who is very well-meaning and ends up being complicit in the system, and then eventually taking agency and becoming not becoming a good person, just remembering how important it is to be a good and honest, compassionate person. This was just things happen on the surface, and the resolution happens because it has to happen, because all films have a resolution. And she's very cool anyway, so she doesn't even get worried about all the stuff that happens. And then she wins high school. and it is very vacuous and vapid a movie, I think, and it was quite frustrating whenever the movie stopped, because it was detention-like in the way it just kept throwing stuff at you, but not quite as insanely as detention. I spent a lot of the movie on the back foot, just like desperately writing notes, trying to like grapple with what I was seeing and how best to word it. But when I did finally have a chance to think about it, it was frustrating, and it's just
yeah. It was very childish, really, in its whole presentation. Like the nature of the plastics to just be arbitrarily mean rather than incidentally mean, which is, I feel, what you get is there's a sort of sociopathic self-interest going on in the original Mean Girls with Regina King. She's just, yes, she has these drives to be at the center of attention, but ultimately it still makes sense. In this one, it just feels entirely arbitrary. The characters aren't real characters. The performances are pretty roundly bad throughout the cast. In particular, I hate to single people out, but the reporter was sort of to the point where I wondered if it was a decision. I wondered if it was a sort of Pitch Perfect-esque, this character just says things weirdly kind of thing. But
that's what I thought it was, and that's why I quite liked her, because I assumed that because she was giving me vibes.
It was self-aware.
The girl in the Spider-Man, the Tom Holland movies, who does the student news.
Oh yeah, she's great.
Reminding me a little bit of her, and I just
maybe
hope
it was.
That's what it was.
If she keeps inviting everybody to join our group, there won't be any room left. At least Mandy understood the importance of exclusivity. Someone has to be the proletariat. That's lower class.
Well, intention, as we said, but the fact is, it plays quite amusingly. So that's what counts. Throughout the whole thing, it's a very underwhelming film. It's incredibly obvious, it's incredibly silly, and it's just crucially not funny.
Yeah.
Oh God, is it not funny? Yeah. There were so few jokes that land. In particular, I think one helpful way of comparing the two is to look at the Amanda Seyfried character and her stand-in in this.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, because what you're dealing with is a character that can absolutely be quite broad, because the whole joke is that they're not very intelligent.
Yeah.
But just the way in which they play with that in Mean Girls versus the things they have her doing in here, which is just like 10th season of a sitcom level flanderization of a stupid character.
Yeah.
Just like occasionally not even aware that they're alive kind of thing. And it's just not amusing. It's just frustrating, because every time she says something, that's one of the more recognizable jokes of the movie.
Yeah.
And when those are terrible, all you can think of is the author and how lazy they're being.
Maybe they just got the wrong address.
Or, what if Joe and Abby are throwing a party tonight?
Stating the obvious, much moron?
Yeah, because those were always accompanied, by the way, with the kooky "this is a funny moment" jingle.
Yeah, and a pause for laugh before the characters admonish her.
And half of the time, Mandy, the central plastic, would turn around and go, no shit.
Yeah.
Like, as if
and the swearing.
That's the joke, by the way.
It's confusing. A couple of swear words in there, which really makes me wonder who this is for. Because this, I would have sworn that this one, whereas, Mean Girls is, aimed at the same people as, that kind of movie would normally go for, teens and up.
Yeah.
It's going to appeal to lots of people. This felt like it was aimed at children.
Yes. But one of the writers clearly wanted to have the original splendor.
Cheeky wild one.
Yeah. It's probably the bloke. God. This is for the dads.
It's for the dads. All of it's for the dads.
I kept thinking about the amazing 4-way phone call in the original.
Yes.
Where Rachel McAdams is in the middle of sort of putting on weight with those carb bars, and she's just eating a baguette throughout. And whilst everyone else is having this conversation that she's not in on, she's in the corner of the screen, just smacking her lips sort of thoughtfully whilst holding a baguette, and then she eventually just tears a chunk with a sort of and there's no time in the second movie for a lip smacking Rachel McAdams. There's no time. Everything is so hyper compressed that everything is just squashed and flattened to the same noise level. And it just, and whether it's calling attention to a dumb moment. And I will say, Amanda Seyfried, to go back to the point you were making, I don't think I've ever seen a character like that kind of character played as well as Amanda Seyfried did. That was remarkable.
Yeah.
It was a wonder to behold.
I mean, that's the thing. If this had just come out as, something like Bratz,
yeah,
then it would still be incredibly underwhelming. I think it would even fail to hold up to Bratz, frankly. From what I remember of Bratz, it was at least larger in scale and a little more ambitious and had more crazy stuff going on to keep you somewhat involved in how bad it is.
Yeah.
This is just incredibly bland and tortuously slow-moving. When it opens up a new thread, when it becomes clear that they're going to do a whole other thing now, you just feel so tired.
Yeah, I know. It just, it really was one of those experiences of, only 20 minutes has gone, huh? Wow.
Yeah, we did a couple of time checks, and it was always substantially less than we thought.
Yeah,
it should have
terrifying,
passed.
Existentially.
Yes, it's a bland film that had also the audacity to call itself a sequel to one of the finest, comedies ever made. So yeah, it's a great shame. But nevertheless, probably get into the things we liked about it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Quick fire.
I don't have many.
I don't have many either, and the first one, I don't know what it means.
Okay.
Because I've written smiling dad with an amazing dad. I enjoyed the smiling dad, and my favourite bit about the smiling dad was that there was an amazing dad.
I mean, I think we all know what it's meant to mean in our hearts.
In our hearts, yeah.
I mean, I liked the dad. He was a fairly natural performance.
Yeah.
He was a lot
grayer.
I think so,
from Johnny Cage.
yeah.
Than he ought to be.
Yeah. Well, maybe, a lot of deleted scenes on the cutting room floor. My first quick fire is one of the principal's speeches that are delivered on the TV screens. And it says the cheerleading squad will be going to the library for a field trip. And
right.
So, and then there's a line about 12 of them going and 15 coming back. And I don't know if it was a reference to something, but without any context, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, every so often he would say something. It's this thing we've talked about before, and I would acknowledge that that's a good line.
Yeah.
And it's tricky to enjoy it in the context of having not laughed at anything else. Like, it's not enough to provoke laughter amidst a void, but were I sort of gently laughing throughout, it would have gotten a titter.
Yeah.
It's the line, we don't want to have happened when what happened last time, which is that we went with 12 and came back with 15, which is significantly funnier if they came back with fewer. Somehow they picked up 3 people is good.
Yeah. So I don't know. And he did occasionally have a line that it felt, I think it was improved by his delivery generally, because he has a pretty good deadpan a lot of the time.
Yes.
And he had some lines that were good, but actually just had a jarring effect on me.
Yeah.
That I wasn't expecting them and wasn't ready for a good line. And then when I felt like it was nudging towards a good line, it was, wasn't part of the original Mean Girls script, so it never did quite get there. It was very weird.
Yeah.
Bit of dissonance there.
It was very weird. And he has a good facial reaction when he's recording one of his bulletins and the secretary just walks through the shot twice. He does a good looking after her, which is good. The first quickfire I can actually recognize and comprehend is that when people there was a dog that was made sick. This was the instigating action, in fact, that Abby fed the little dog and the dog got sick inside of her expensive purse. And she stands up and is like, who did this? And we cut to Abby, and a random hand of an unfeatured person comes into frame to indicate that it was her.
Yes.
And I enjoy that. That was one of the very few sort of visual gags and also sort of playful, making the high school a character kind of moments that you saw a lot of in the original. So
yes,
yeah, that was good.
I like that too. I think it's about halfway through the movie at this stage when the computer geek is asked to help sabotage Nohan. he's saying what he does and in his spare time, I think, and then he goes and I do a little salsa for the ladies and does a little like twirl, like you know that move when you a man is dancing with a lady and a little bit. And they go backwards, and he's like holding the small of her back as she leans back. Yeah. It does that, and it's swift, and it's incidental to the rest of the scene, and nobody draws attention to it. So there's a nice moment of confluence.
Yeah, and she has a little gasp when it happens, a sort of and that's quite fun. Again, they move straight past it, which is
a nice little surprising moment. Yeah.
When they record and then distribute her sort of falling off the bike, having been superglued to it, the scream is quite amusing because it's quite mild, and to have it played on a loop is quite amusing.
Okay.
Hey, nice look.
It's not funny.
I'm not joking. It's hot.
Thanks.
And I also like the fact that it's in the background of scene, and although, it is the prominent thing in the scene, our main character still doesn't address it. She just kind of walks past it, which is good.
Yeah. Cool. I've mentioned Abby scratching her boot itch with a ruler. Big fan of that.
Oh yeah.
There's one moment where Johnny Cage dad walks away from his garage, and the plastics hurry past him in the foreground towards his garage to sabotage him. And I really wasn't expecting to see them tottering in on their heels.
Right.
Which I think the physicality of the three of them doing that on a otherwise still scene was quite fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Yeah. That's quite good.
Yeah,
I liked some when she goes to Abby's bedroom. There's a lot of paintings there, and I liked some of them. Some of them were quite good, I thought, for a young artist.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. I like that.
Yeah.
That was nice. Yeah, it made Abby a bit more sympathetic.
Well,
not
Abby's...
sympathetic, just a bit more of a character, I think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a bit of stuff going on with her.
Yeah. I think one of the bits where they're starting to take down the plastics, Abby and Joe, Abby and Nohan, there we go, out and about.
Yeah.
And we cut to Chastity, who sees them, who's the dumb one, the safe fraud. And she's making out with her one of her make-out partners in a up against a wall, and she peels her lips off of him in this cutaway to say hi to them. It was a very speedy shot with a really textural feel to the lips being ripped off of his face to say hi to these two girls. It was very surprising.
I enjoy, again, another one of the principal's lines. It's very throwaway, and it's just he's starting a announcement and just says, "Hello, I'm your principal. You know me."
Yeah.
It's very good.
That's good.
Oh, shit.
What?
That was my last one.
Okay. Well, I've got two left.
Okay, go for it then. Finish us on a strong one, my mate.
Okay, well, here's your... the penultimate one is Quinn, Ben Bradley Jr., student journalist extraordinaire. I'd say I like her, shell-shocked vibe. I like we said, I choose to believe that was intentional. Otherwise, if not, then But assuming that it was, I think it was great. And then just calling the shop teacher Mr. Giamatti. It's a very non sequitur decision, and I don't know why. Because it's like saying Professor Arnold Schwarzenegger. There's only one Giamatti.
Yeah, there's only one Giamatti I care about.
Yeah, I've never met another Giamatti other than the shop teacher in Mean Girls 2.
Well, now you got two.
Oh, well, that joke's rubbish then.
And isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, I guess.
For all of us. We can all appreciate that now. Forever. Right, well, I think that's going to do it for us. It's time to check in with the OG team.
With that OG team.
You, OG team. Like a team. OG team. Nothing on Patreon, unfortunately, but let us check in with X. He did say Will. That was what he said a lot. Not X at all. XLX is what William Shatner says for some reason in the audition sequence in a different episode. If you know what I'm talking about. You grew up in the 90s too, huh? Shame. Nevertheless, nothing on X, so let's have a look at Facebook.
Because we have to, by law.
Yeah, we do. Zuckerberg made us sign that thing. Oh, there's a bit of activity. What's going on? Oh, I think we might have... we got a few people. No,
Ooh.
That's when I had my phone stolen. There's still notifications here, and still people suggesting I interact with some frightening people on Facebook. Thank you for that. But I do worry about what they might do to me, a vulnerable young boy.
Full of dreams.
Yeah, full of dreams and piss. And unfortunately, nobody let their piss out here because we haven't got anything about Mean Girls 2.
Oh,
which is a shame because, none of you should see it.
That is a shame.
That is a shame. And I'd like to have had more comments being like, no.
Yeah.
The silence is worryingly ambiguous for me.
In this world of Google reviews.
It doesn't tie into like the worst films we've ever seen, but certainly amongst... It felt like we were back on old territory, to be honest. I feel like it's been a little while since we reviewed a properly just shit film like this.
It's an age of innocence, isn't it, that period of our podcasting careers? And I think you can tell we had a lot of fun recording this episode. I had a lot of fun recording this episode. And
I've got chronic pains.
Yeah, it was no detention. It was no insert many of the films we've had to see.
Let me just scroll back to the last time you and I watched something that I would consider similar to this in kind of vibe. Like Elemental was a big movie.
Mm.
Same for Super Mario Brothers. When's the last time we watched something that was just a forgotten about piece of shit that no one liked? God, I've got... is it iRobot in September?
Maybe, but iRobot definitely has a greater mainstream awareness than Mean Girls 2 did.
True. Well, I mean, obviously I'm going past all the history hole stuff. Event Horizon. I'm back in August.
Like Mean Girls 2 is like if we ever reviewed Aladdin 2 Return of Jafar.
Oh, that's true. We haven't done a straight-to-DVD sequel before. But in terms of just a really thoroughly... Nobody really cares that we're doing this. Oh, there's Stealth. 2023.
Stealth's a good idea. Stealth's a good one.
Stealth's
actually.
Not bad, right?
Yeah.
I think it's the noughties. This was a welcome return to the terribleness of the noughties.
The innocence of it.
And I'm glad you're all there to join us. Let's get out of here. Let's talk about the one better thing.
All right, then.
The one better thing. What have you got?
Oh, well, I'm high on the crack cocaine in my veins of Mean Girls, the original.
And the crack cocaine.
And the crack cocaine.
Of my living room.
Of my crack cocaine. The original Mean Girls. I have only just seen it. It's hot off the presses. It's a brand new movie. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but Mean Girls 2004 is fantastic. An absolutely fantastic piece of cinema.
Yeah.
And,
you know what? I'm going to take a risk and just say also that the Mean Girls 2024 film that comes out next week is better. Haven't seen it. I'm just going to roll the dice on that one and let history tell. It would have to be Cats. It would have to actually be Cats for it to be worse than this.
Yeah, I think I saw... Is it on Rotten Tomatoes? It's like 54%. But
well, you can never trust Rotten Tomatoes too far.
Is that Metacritic? Let me see.
Well, either way, let
them
have their own business. You've
59.
got to make up your own minds.
Yeah.
Make up your own minds, folk.
I mean, it's
Make
still
up my mind.
Go on. I'm tired of it. I mean, even if 59 at Metacritic, it's still miles better than whatever it is that we just watched. Mean Girls 2.
According to critical consensus, it is establishing a more consistent critical consensus.
Fantastic.
Nevertheless. Yeah. Well, I've got two one better things for the masses. First of all, they're both from this year, actually. First of all, Bottoms. Now, Bottoms is a good comedy, so not all of the humour landed with me. In particular, there's two leads in the film, Rachel Sennott and Ayo Edebiri.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of represent the two sides of the kind of feel of the movie, because Ayo Edebiri is incredibly deadpan in the face of absolute absurdity, and I love that. Rachel Sennott is a bit big for me in terms of the performance. It's just a bit big. But there's a lot of great people in it. It's really a very funny story about trying to fit in high school. the plot keeps you involved. Certainly, there's a lot going on. It's never boring. And I enjoy the sort of surreal kind of satire feel of it, which occasionally did put me in mind of Not Another Teen Movie, but, I was enjoying it a lot more.
Okay, right. Well,
and then the second one is Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, a truly wonderful film, as a matter of fact, that I saw after Mean Girls 2, and it was an interesting comparison. This is the story of an 11-year-old girl who is moved from New York to New Jersey, to the suburbs, essentially, by her parents.
Dad's a NASCAR mechanic.
Dad's a NASCAR. Dad's Jewish. Mum is a sort of former Christian who fled after the parents wouldn't accept her marrying a Jewish man. And so there's a lot of tension there in the family, but she doesn't quite know who she is. She's also desperate for puberty to hit because she's terrified of being left behind by her fellow students. And it's so funny. It's not something I've experienced, but feels so well observed. Okay. It really transports you back to not only adolescence and all the anxieties that came with it, but also the 1970s where it's set. It had this wonderful evocation of period. Director Kelly Fremon Craig, this is a wonderful job from her. Just really gorgeous film. It's probably going to end up in the end-of-year list. Yeah, I was a big fan of that. And all of the characters feel so robust as well, with fabulous performance from Abby Ryder-Forsten as Margaret, and bringing the loop to a close, Regina King herself, Rachel McAdams, as the mum.
Cool.
So, yeah, she's gone full circle and become her own mum. Also, Kathy Bates and Benny Safdie. Become Amy Poehler. And Kathy Bates and Benny Safdie are there. Cool. Yeah, it'll be a shame if we don't get any more Safdie brother films, but if it's because Benny's off being in every good film, then I guess we'll just have to put up with that.
Accept it grudgingly.
Absolutely. Paul, how can people grudgingly find out more about us? That was the one better thing. The one better thing.
Okay. Oh, brilliant. Well, they can do it the same way that they always grudgingly find out about us, which is against their will, by going on Twitter and Facebook at OGT Pod, because we put out the call for the OG team, and by we, I mean he, Paul Salt.
Sometimes.
So sometimes. And sometimes is most of the time. And
sometimes it's more than no times. It's way more than no times. It's infinitely more.
That's exactly what I've been saying. I know, right? It's just facts.
It's crazy how much people don't respect that.
Oh, look. Sorry, I didn't mean to get angry at you, listener. All you need to do is go onto OGT Pod at Facebook and Twitter. Because we put out the call for the OG team, a la Mean Girls, inter alia Mean Girls 2, and I forget every other single film we've done. Stealth.
Yeah, all of them.
So
Stealth.
And if you've seen them, especially those two, and you had some good things, why not get in touch?
Oh, we also did Not Another Teen Movie, which coincidentally started 8 minutes ago on Sky Movies.
Fantastic.
So I'm late.
Amazing. And you can also listen to that episode where I defend it.
Yay.
Bravely in the face of reason. And we have a Patreon where for as little as £1 a month, that is way, way less than any deficit any of our public services currently have. So you might as well give it to us.
Infinitely less.
Yeah, almost infinitely. Give it to us and you get hundreds of hours of extra content. All kinds of crazy things. Some of them a little bit ribald.
Oh,
I'm
Paul-bald.
I am piebald. Piebald, ribald.
And piebald, ribald. Remember, the one good thing about... I'm going slowly because I've forgotten what movie we did. Mean Girls 2.
You're just looking at my sweat patches and getting distracted.
Just getting pulled into them, mate. The one good thing about Night Swim is... It's probably the principal, right?
Yeah, he's doing his best.
He's got the lingering smell of a good movie about him, which will be thoroughly washed off by Sandler.